Well, good evening from Snetterton, and welcome back to those who are fans of the NXTGEN Racing franchise, and welcome to you, those who are new. This is NXTGEN Racing iRacing Legends. From here, as we mentioned, round 3 at Snetterton, one of the most popular circuits in the United Kingdom at the moment, and one of the longest circuits on the calendar for us. A nice sunny day here, partially cloudy, but a good temperature here at Snetterton today as we're watching some legends go around the track in some legends cars. Tonight, as we mentioned, round 3 of the championship, and it's been quite a dramatic and exciting season so far in the championship, with round 1 taking place at Silverstone National Circuit, where we saw plenty of battling up front amongst the likely candidates of Luke Bennett, Bobby Thompson, Mikey Doble, and so on. There were plenty of drivers involved in the top end of the grid. And then the Red Bull Ring last week, where we saw a very, very dramatic race 3 collision between two drivers last week, which really took note of the kind of excitement we're expecting to see in this championship. If you do get a chance, go back and look at the race a week ago, after tonight's broadcast, of course. The Red Bull Ring race last week was very exciting indeed. But today it is round 3 of the championship. And we started off 2 weeks ago at the Silverstone National Circuit, and the week after, which was last week, was round 2 at the Red Bull Ring National layout. Today we're at the Snetterton Circuit, the 300 layout, so slightly different to the previous 2 rounds where we're racing an actual full layout of the circuit. The previous tracks have been shortened versions of the Grand Prix circuit, we know them as. But today, Snetterton is one of the longest tracks, as we mentioned, on the calendar. A 2-minute plus lap, so plenty of corners for these drivers to negotiate on this very, very complex track. Not what like it used to be, Snetterton. Zandvoort is round 4 of the championship, the national circuit in Holland. I won't be here next week, but it will be taken over by another commentator. Stay tuned on NXTGEN Racing to look out for that. Tsukuba will be round 5 of the championship, the 2004 circuit. The very small Tsukuba circuit in Japan should feature some exciting and close racing. And round 6 to cap off the first half of the season will be at the Gilles Villeneuve Montreal circuit in Canada. A little bit of a short circuit if you consider it in Formula 1 anyway, but in these Legends cars it'll be very, very exciting. Plenty of chicanes to negotiate, including the Wall of Champions. We've seen these cars really struggle over curbs and bumps, so we see 2 cars coming together there in the foreground. And yeah, Gilles Villeneuve should be a very interesting race indeed. It'll be a week off between rounds 6 and 7. We'll be back for round 7 for the Alton Part International Circuit. So usually with British racing series, we often see cars drive on the island layout. But the international layout is very familiar with the British GT Championship, and it will feature for this Legends series hosted by NXTGEN. Round 8 will be the Nürburgring Sprint Strecke layout, which is a shortened version of the Grand Prix layout. So coming out of the Mercedes arena, they take a right instead of a left into the Ford curve, and it is kind of a half version of the Grand Prix circuit. But that right-hander features a very steep downhill hairpin, which should feature some very exciting moves and driving from these drivers in these Legends cars. Round 9 will be the traditional Donington Park national layout, as we famously see in the British touring cars each year. And round 10 will be off over the pond again to the WeatherTech Raceway. Of course, most of us know that as Laguna Seca. So it'll be very exciting seeing these cars go down the corkscrew on that very popular track in California, USA. Round 10 will be at Barcelona, a track relatively new to iRacing, but the national layout, a shortened layout, will be used for round 11. And an even shorter circuit, but one of the most exciting circuits that Britain has produced. Brands Hatch Indy layout will feature for the final round of the championship, like what the British touring cars did last season. They ended on Brands Hatch Indy, and we'll be ending there in just over 2 months' time on the 25th of October. It's quite a long season ahead of us, but it's going to be a nice, exciting ride all the way. Okay, so we're approaching qualifying, so we'll go over the championship standings first of all before we get started in the racing tonight. So this is the Pro category championship coming into tonight, headed by Luke Bennett, who took a win last week, but he's only 3 points ahead of Gordon Much, who took 2 wins last week at the Red Bull Ring. Stephen Daly there in third place, tied third place with defending champion Mikey Doble. Liam McNally, who took a win in Silverstone 2 weeks ago, is 5th in the championship, followed by Seb Hopkins. Keith Dempsey in 7th position with Bobby Thompson, regular favourite in the championship, 8th position as he missed last week. Donovan Strauss in 9th with Josh Malin, unattended so far, he's in 10th. And we also have a Pro-Am championship standing. So these are drivers who do not race in real life, they are only sim racers. Thus a Pro-Am category, it gives them a chance to fight for a championship in their respective category. It is headed by our league host advantage, joking Jamie. Jamie is top of the standings on 82 points, followed by teammate of NXTGEN Racing Lee Horn in 2nd place on 70 points. 4 points down from him is William Foyle of Crest Autosport. And 4th place is Wayne Douglas, followed by Paul Heo in 5th position. Rob Bearable in 6th with Robert Lundgren in 7th place for Boosted Motorsport. And we are just setting over to qualifying, thus the reset of the standings there. Deegan Furclow in 8th, followed by Blaze Crawford, Josh Brown in 10th, Ollie Peters in 11th. He is recovering from a broken foot, or a broken leg, I think. So he's going to be struggling a little bit at the moment with a little bit of pain and a cast to negotiate. Ollie Wayne in 12th place, followed by Steve Thompson, Thomas Delaney, and Matt Emmons in 15th position. So here we go, we're out on track for qualifying, and we have our standings lingering there. It's good when SDK does this to us. Okay, we'll reset. There we go. Okay, out for qualifying. What can we expect from qualifying here? Well, not actually many laps, so this is going to be pretty tricky for these drivers. A 2-minute lap plus, 2-minute plus lap in a 10-minute session. So realistically, these drivers can only fit in about 3 flying laps. And that's without considering drivers who might come into the pits to get new tyres on. So when you consider that, these drivers will probably only be able to get in 2 flying laps. And when you consider that, and we saw it with William Foyle there, going a little bit wide there, he won't want to be going wide like that. And none of these drivers will, not picking on Will in particular, because he's my teammate, but none of these drivers will want to go wide and get what's called on iRacing an off-track penalty, as that will lead to an invalidation of your lap, provided by the virtual stewards, and it will lead to cancellation of your lap time. So we're watching a few drivers come around the circuit. Let's see who is coming towards the start finish line. We can't see it just yet because they're not on flying laps, but in fact we'll follow our championship leader. So we do have Luke Bennett coming out of the final corner now, so we'll do an onboard lap of Snetterton. On board with our championship leader in the Pro category, privateer today, Luke Bennett will take us for a ride around this wonderful, wonderful circuit. So we come up towards turn 1 now. Into the right-hander we go. Not quite flat out in these cars, but easing up the throttle and back on it very, very quickly to go around the corner. Up towards the hairpin, dropping down the gears there. And into the right-hander we go. We'll just get that out of the way so you can see it. And up through gears, up to 3rd gear, and drop down to 2nd gear, which is quite surprising in that corner, and down to 3rd again for the long left-hander here. Out of the corner we go, and now we're hurtling down towards Agostini. Breaking down to 2nd gear again. Nice early entrance into the corner, following the curve around. Gentle on the throttle as we come out of Agostini, and now into Hamilton. Left-hander here, almost flat out, dropping down to 3rd gear, keeping the revs very high, and it's an off-track penalty, so that will ruin the lap of Luke Bennett, and he backs off straight away. And will he revert to the pits? Might not, so we might have to do another lap with someone else. Let's see what else is going on track. We will get a full lap of Snetterton shortly, as we see Mikey Doble, our defending champion, following Luke Bennett through. So he positioned himself in this session quite strategically. He's actually behind Gordon Much in front of him there. Gordon Much is second in the championship. And further up the road is Luke Bennett. We come into the chicane here of Brundle and Nelson. Into the right-hander there. You want to avoid that curb on the inside. Those kind of curbs, the very tall ones on the inside of some of these corners here, will kick the car up, high up into the air. And these cars aren't quite balanced. They're not designed to ride over steep curbs. So it is best to stay off them unless they're fully flat. Now Mikey Doble comes out of the final corner. We'll do an onboard later, but we're approaching the halfway point of the session already. This is what I meant earlier on, with drivers not getting much time to set a lot of laps. Come across the line. Gordon Much goes to top of the standings. Outright quickest with Mikey Doble just shy of numbers on the left on our timing tower. There are the pro drivers. Blue numbers are the Pro-Am drivers, just to point out. We didn't have that last week, but now we do. And Mikey Doble 2/10 off. Gordon Much is reset to the pits, but Mikey Doble will carry on. He seems to think his tyres are okay, even though he's giving it a go. Let's see what else is going on. So first in the Pro-Am at the moment is Paul Hayo. Quite an impressive start to the session for him. And there we go, we have got the relative positions in terms of the categories there. And we have got a rogue driver in there that I didn't notice in the server early on, and we're not able to add him to a category. Kenny Brady will probably be a Pro-Am driver. Just bear with me while I add him. In the meantime, enjoy the qualifying session. There we go, that is all sorted. A couple of new drivers here today, so as we mentioned Kenny Brady there, we'll actually mention a few of them new drivers here today. They're part of High Performance Motorsports, and I think they're friends with our usual American residents of the series. So our usual American residents are the likes of Blaze Crawford, pulling over to the side there to revert back to the pits. Of course, we also have drivers in Donovan Strauss from America, but also new to the series today, I believe they're brothers, Kenny Brady and Max Brady. Welcome to them. Very similar dark liveries there in the 57 and 54 cars. Welcome along to them. Let's see how they get on today in their debuts to the championship. And drivers who haven't set a time yet are Lee Horn, William Foyle and Aaron Thompson. As Aaron Thompson skips across the curb there, I wonder if this is a completed lap from Thompson. One of the few Thompsons we have in the championship. He comes across the line. Aaron Thompson, I believe he's starting a new lap here. There's a big couple of shuffles in the standings here. We've got Bobby Thompson, who's put himself up into 4th position. Our ex-BTCC resident up into the top 4. Bobby has got 2 minutes. He'll be able to complete this lap, but he probably won't be able to start another. But Bobby Thompson will get another lap to try and get himself to the top of the standings. Currently taken up by Gordon Much, who's in the pits at the moment. Mikey Doble trying his best to get a bit further up. Mikey Doble, we were mentioning this last week, and it's quite important to mention it again, that last season, we know Mikey Doble won the championship, but earlier on in the season he didn't quite perform as well as he did later on in the season. It was around about the midpoint, around about round 3 actually. I remember him having a very good round at Lime Rock Park, but it was around about the after a couple of rounds and the midpoint of the season where he really started to dominate things. Just needs a bit of time to get warmed up to the championship, and then he's firing on all cylinders, and it might be evident here today. He's only 2/10 down on a very long track, which isn't much at all. Plenty of corners to try and make back those 2/10. And as we've seen with many of these drivers this season, they've been able to stick nose to tail. Mikey Doble crosses the line. It's a 2:15.6, so he must have slowed down on that lap, but he'll go again with half a minute remaining. He is allowed to finish this lap. We'll keep an eye on Bobby Thompson here as he is on a flyer. We've also got Luke Bennett, who'll start a brand new lap here. And I think Wayne Douglas has just put himself into 4th place ahead of Bobby Thompson. Yes, he has. Jamie Dory, someone has just put himself a bit further up. But we'll look to Bobby Thompson. He's one of the men we want to look out for. 5th place at the moment. Can he get himself higher up? Let's find out when he gets to the line. Hurtling down the main straight here. And across the line he goes. Bobby Thompson goes quicker but doesn't go any higher, and time has expired. He only just couldn't make it, and into 2nd place of the Pro-Am category goes Lee Horn. A brilliant qualifying session for him, 2nd in the championship coming into tonight, and he's 2nd on the grid for the race here at Snetterton, and 1 place ahead of his championship rival and teammate Jamie Dory. So the battle in the Pro-Am category rages on in the form of qualifying at the moment. We'll switch back to the overall positions as this is relative to their grid positions. But Gordon Mutch, it looks like a 3rd consecutive pole position for him. 1 at Silverstone National, 1 at the Red Bull Ring, and 1 here today at Silverstone, unless anything can be done about it. We'll find out. Mikey Doble is on a flyer, as is Luke Bennett, not too far behind. What about Bobby Thompson? Well, no, he has finished his lap, but this is just practice for him. Good for the race, and we've seen Bobby Thompson come through the crowds in many of the races, particularly last year and particularly this year back at Silverstone. So we'll see what Mikey Doble can do, and Luke Bennett, of course. Luke Bennett, our championship leader, just behind Mike here, who messes up the final corner. He skips across the curb, and that would have slowed him down. He reverts to the pit. What about Luke Bennett? He stays out there. He's going to complete his lap here. We've got a driver back there. I think that's William Foyle coming down the main straight there, and across goes Luke Bennett. He does go quicker, and he goes into 2nd. Oh, he's so close to the top. Luke Bennett only 3/10 of a second, 3/100ths of a second behind Gordon Mutch. It wasn't enough to get him into pole position. 2nd place will have to do for him. William Ford did cross the line, but it's another invalid lap, so William Ford will start as low as 20th. As just gone into 18th place is William Chadwick, another driver I'm not being able to add into the server in time. But there goes our session in qualifying, and shortly we'll be able to reveal what will be the grid for the race coming up. And we still haven't got a completed grid yet for this qualifying session. Timer ticks on, and we'll soon tick over. There we go. We are about to set over into the race, and we'll start gridding up. But here is the grid for the start of this night here at Snetterton. Gordon Mutch on the front row of the grid will set off alongside Luke Bennett at the top there. Mikey Doble, our defending champion, in third place, with Wayne Douglas in fourth. Bobby Thompson, our BTCC resident, in fifth position. Paul Hale, highest of the Pro-Am drivers, sixth position with Lee Horn and Jamie Dory, teammates on the fourth row. Seb Hopkins is ninth with Ollie Peters in 10th. Donovan Strauss 11th with Blaze Crawford in 12th. Kenny Brady in 13th on his debut alongside his teammate Max Brady in 14th. 15th, we've got Tom Delaney with Matt Emmons in 16th position. Robert Lundgren of Boosted Motorsport in 17th with William Chadwick, new driver tonight, in 18th. Steve Thompson in 19th position with William Fall in 20th and Aaron Thompson rounding off the grid in 21st. That is the grid for the race coming up in just a few moments' time. Drivers will line up on the grid, preparing their setups, preparing their rigs, ready for a race here. Round one of the night. Race one of the night of round three of the championship, the 7th race of the season. 3 races we got ahead of us tonight, all 15 minutes in length, and we've got various reverse grids to look forward to as well. And all drivers, I believe, are on the grid. Lights are red, and we're about to go here at Snetterton. 4th light, 5 light, and we are gone right away. Good start for Gordon Much there. He stomps away on the first row there, comes across to take his racing line. It is Luke Bennett who is coming across to defend his position, and into the first corner we go. Gordon Much takes it, and Wayne Douglas has put himself into 3rd place ahead of Mikey Doble already. Into the hairpin we go, braking hard into the corner. Bobby Thompson on the outside of Mikey Doble there. Doble giving a shove to Wayne Douglas to try and get a move on. And Douglas, it looked like high ping there, but Douglas has moved around and he's collected Ollie Peters in the process as well. So a dramatic start for Wayne Douglas. What was looking like a good start, ruined at the moment. Down towards Agostini we go. And we're looking back, an overtake between Seb Hopkins and the number 4 driver of Blaze Crawford. And wide goes Jamie Dory, leader of the championship in the Pro-Am category. Running very wide there. And he has to recover from what is 13th place, so not too bad. Oh, and running wide there is Blaze Crawford in the number 4 car. And he'll lose a couple of positions there. Him and his teammates have not had a good start to this race. And avoiding him then was William Chadwick. On his debut, looking to stay out of trouble, it seems. But Aaron Thompson at the moment, biggest gainer, 11 places gained. Brilliant start for him. But oh, and there's a big collision back towards the back there. Can't quite see what's happened there, but there was a lot of cars came together on the straight there. But let's revert back to the front. Paul Hale has gained 2 places in front of Bobby Thompson. So a good start for the Pro-Am driver. High up in the overall and quite far ahead of his nearest rivals. We've got Max Brady there on the inside of Lee Horn. Good move there. Let's just get a quick replay of that before we get other replays. And it was a bad exit from the corner from Lee Horn, and Max Brady utilised it. Took the inside, going around the bomb hole, and takes the position. That is 8th in category. But at the end of the first lap, Gordon Much retains the lead. But like what it's been for most of the season, fairly nose to tail between him and Luke Bennett. We got Mikey Doble back here in 3rd place, dropping off a little bit from the front too. Bobby Thompson in 4th position, and Seb Hopkins up 4 places to 5th place at the moment. He is teammate with Luke Bennett, so both riding the Frosties livery there, with Tony the Tiger on the back. So look out for them cars, doing very well at the moment. We've got Lee Horn for a move on Max Brady. Brady gives a bit of a nudge on the rear of Lee Horn. You've got to be very careful making contact in these cars. What can Brady do? Can't take the inside for the left-hander here of Palmer. But can he get a good run out as we come down to Agostini? Lee Horn very, very quick to go and defend the corner. And he switches to the inside, does Max Brady. He's not able to get late enough on the brakes. Lee Horn safely keeps it to the outside. And someone was in the middle of the track there. I think it was Paul Hale. Yes, he was. And he just collects Lee Horn. Horn could not see him coming. So let's get a replay of what happened to Paul Hale. Oh, he was turned around by, I couldn't quite make out who that was. I think it was Donovan Strauss, but Paul Hale collects other cars and in the process loses many positions. He's down to 13th and he's dropping more. He's got lots of damage and he's pulling over to let other cars by. Noble thing to do, but he'll be absolutely gutted. His race, it's not quite over, but in tatters at the moment. This is still the front two. Luke Bennett versus Gordon Much. Meanwhile, in the Pro-Am category, on his debut, Max Brady is leading the race, but only just ahead of Aaron Thompson. Good start to their season at the moment, their debut to the championship. We've got championship leader in the Pro-Ams, Jamie Dory, in third in category, and he'll be looking to get himself a bit further up. William Fall from towards the back of the grid. Good start for him, up 8th places to 12th position. Let's keep an eye on this battle as well. Luke Bennett versus Gordon Much. The two championship protagonists. No moves yet from them and almost identical times, with Mikey Doble going a bit slower, as did Bobby Thompson. So these two really are the bread and butter of this series with the fastest laps at the moment. No move yet from Luke Bennett. It really is a game of chess between these two in most races so far this season. Who's going to make the first move? Who's going to make the riskiest move? And it's been so close between these two. 3 points between them coming into tonight's championship round. And let's keep an eye on other battles going on circuit. We're looking at Brace Crawford recovering there, and Jamie Dory involved with, I think that was Aaron Thompson. Aaron Thompson is off the track. So let's take a look. Coming around Palmer there. And it's a run down to Agostini. He goes a bit wide, can't control the car, spins it round. Almost kept hold of it and just about avoids Jamie Dory, or Jamie Dory just about avoids Aaron Thompson. But down to 15th place. The hard work at the start of this race rather undone for Mr. Thompson there. Jamie Dory did well to avoid that. He's now back in second in category, 8th in the race. And William Chadwick here in 9th. I'm interested to know what kart that is. It looks like a Rotax. Wonder where he drives. But yeah, quite a fond karter I am myself. And a very nice livery on William Chadwick's car. Yellow being my favourite colour, and the tyre marks on it are pretty cool as well. Jamie Dory in the NXTGEN livery, a very, very distinctive livery as he gains rapidly on Max Brady coming through the bomb hole. And then around Coram we go now, the very long right-hander. Jamie Dory, what can he do against Brady? He has to brake a little earlier to set himself up for the corner and not run into the back of Brady. Fastest lap of the race set by Gordon Much, just to let you know, so they're still going even quicker, the front two. This is the battle for top spot in the Pro-Am category. Oh, and there's a straggling car up ahead. I think that's Donovan Strauss. Yes, it is. And now this will make things interesting for Max Brady and Jamie Dory. Doesn't appear on our events. Oh, that was very close between Brady and Strauss, compatriots based in Georgia. Jamie Dory trying to get through Donovan Strauss rather quickly, and something's happened a bit further back to Aaron Thompson. He's had an incident. We'll get a quick replay of that. Oh, and it is a spin coming out of turn one and into the wall. That is a race-ending incident. But let's get back with the... Oh, and then something's happened literally as we came back there. Who was that? Max Brady spun on the hairpin there, so let's get a replay of that. So let's get with Max Brady there. Oh, and he was just... I think he was just pushed under braking and the rear just lost control. Bit of an unfortunate incident, that one, but it does promote Jamie Dory into the top spot. He'll be thankful of that. Not thankful that somebody got taken out of the battle, but he is heading this battle now and it helps his championship. He is not too far ahead of his rival though, Lee Horn, lurking in 9th place overall, a few places down from Jamie Dory and just a few seconds behind, in fact less than a second behind on track. He's got William Chadwick right in front of him. Nothing to report on this battle at the moment between Much and Doble. Much and Bennett, excuse me. Doble is in third where he started. Bobby Thompson in fourth. Seb Hopkins in fifth place. And we've got Jamie Dory in sixth place. It's the battle for second in the Pro-Am category. The battle for seventh outright. And Lee Horn, not enough power coming out of that corner there. And putting over to the left there. Our right now is the 54 car of Kenny Brady. He was in this battle, but damage to his car. He's limping a little bit. Good race this has been from William Fall, one of the biggest gainers of the field. 10 places gained overall, and he's gained up to 5th in category, 10th overall. 7th overall at the moment for William Chadwick, but 11 places gained. Brilliant, brilliant debut for him. Be very, very pleased with this performance. And this is Max Brady getting past the straggling Kenny Brady back there. And he's got William Foyle not too far behind him. William Foyle in the very, very extravagant Crest Autosport livery there. Pink on the rear, blue on the front, and running wide there is Max Brady in the 57 dark liveried car. This allows William Foyle to pounce. But it seems Max Brady has got it under control as he keeps William Foyle at bay going into... I can't remember the name of the corner there. Oggies, that was it. Into Williams, the long right-hander here as we come on to the back straight, one of the longest straights on the corner, on the track, the Bentley straight. And Paul Hale has had an instant further back, so let's take a look. He's on his own. Oh, a bit too sharp on the brakes. And once these cars get too much sideways, it's a little hard to recover them. We've got 4.5 minutes remaining. At the front, Gordon Mutch is still just ahead of Luke Bennett and is still very close between them, but no move just yet from Luke Bennett. Back here we have got Wayne Douglas with Donovan Strauss ahead of him, and Blaze Crawford right behind. He's got two Americans in front and behind. Sporting an American brand is Wayne Douglas. A Lowe's livery there. Of course, a famous sponsor of Jimmy Johnson in the NASCAR series. And we've got progress between Douglas and Crawford. Crawford with a very, very good run, and pulling over to the side there is the 54 car of Kenny Brady, just getting out of the way of the drivers. Well done to him indeed. And through into 12th place goes Blaze Crawford. Oh, and running wide there is Donovan Strauss as his teammate is allowed to get alongside. But it was a bad run through the corner for both of them, and Wayne Douglas is right behind lurking, isn't able to make a move as the two teammates of Donovan Strauss and Blaze Crawford are just blocking the road for him. He can't do anything when there's two big Legends cars stuck in the middle of the road for him. There's a bit of damage on that car as well on the rear right quarter panels. You can see the arch is missing, which won't be helping. Being spurred along is Wayne Douglas by the 54 car of Kenny Brady. Kenny is a few laps down, however. Keeping an eye on the top of each category. Jamie Dory has escalated a little bit of a gap from William Chadwick. And these two still going at it. 2.5 minutes left in the session. Can Luke Bennett make a move? He must be trying desperately, as we've seen all season. These two are not shy of making a move on one another, and in fact, Luke Bennett is probably as close as we've ever seen him in this race. He got a very good run through the bomb hole. And into the final corner of Murray's. It's the thing is between these two drivers, they're such high caliber drivers that neither of them make a mistake, and in these cars you need one to make a mistake. That's the thing. Let's take a look at cars a bit further back. This is still the battle for the Pro-Am lead. Dory heads the category with a personal best lap. Likewise with William Chadwick, but a bit quicker. And Lee Horn is straggling a little bit back there, losing touch from Jamie Dory and William Chadwick. Oh, and a little bit loose there is Chadwick, the number 21 car, as he comes into the hairpin of Montreal. I believe he used to be called Wilson, the hairpin, here at Snetterton. William Chadwick is rapidly gaining on the next-gen driver here. This is the onboard view from Chadwick. Oh, locking up the brakes, and so did Jamie Dory, and this might be time to pounce for William Chadwick. He hasn't quite got the inside, he has to tuck right in behind, but the pressure getting to Jamie Dory early on in this night. Now, another thing to remind you of, it is a reverse grid of 12 positions from this race going into race 2. So we can see Wayne Douglas is in 12th place as Jamie Dory runs wide, going through Oggies there and into the lead of the AM category. The Pro-Am category goes William Chadwick. Easy pickings for him, but a good run coming out of Williams from Jamie Dory. What can Jamie Dory do going into Brundles? Getting alongside and he's on the outside. That'll give him the inside for the next corner following Brundle, which is Nelson. Past the bridge we go, into the corner we go. Jamie Dory, can he hang it onto the outside? No, he can't. Still leading this category is Chadwick, but Dory with a very good run out of the corner. Through the bomb hole they go, a nice dip through that corner. Not quite going to work, but we must revert to the front because Gordon Mutch is about to come through to take another win in this series. Win number 4, I believe. And fantastic performance yet again from Gordon Mutch, who will presumably take the championship lead ahead of Luke Bennett following this race, but there's plenty more racing to go tonight. Mikey Doble has come through in 3rd place, but William Chadwick will come through to win in the Pro-Am category on his debut, just ahead of championship leader Jamie Dory, and with his championship rival in 3rd place in category. Lee Horn there takes 3rd in category and 8th overall. Wayne Douglas has crossed the line in 12th position and therefore will get, well, he hasn't crossed the line yet, he's about to cross the line. I thought he'd already crossed it. As we see Donovan Strauss weaving about in the background there. He doesn't really care about losing another position. He couldn't quite get reverse grid pole, but Wayne Douglas will start the next race from pole position, as it's a reverse grid of 12. Comment in the Facebook chat there. Ben Payne, looks like good fun this. It certainly does. Every time I commentate on this I think, why am I doing this? Why am I racing? I remember how much I'm getting paid. Anyway, moving on to the results very, very shortly for this opening race of the night. A win from Gordon Mutch in the Pro category and a respective win in category for William Chadwick on his debut. Interesting racing so far tonight. And it's not ending anytime soon. We will be going for a quick break right after the results are rounded up here at Snetterton's opening race of the day. Very shortly we will get the results of this race. We have got one more car crossing the line. I believe it's Robert Lundgren. So once he crosses the line, we'll be able to get the results of this race. There we go. So, top of the standings, Gordon Mutch for race win number 4 of the season. Luke Bennett takes 2nd just behind his championship rival. Mikey Doble in 3rd place with Bobby Thompson in 4th position. Seb Hopkins takes 5th. William Chadwick, his debut tonight and a win in the Pro-Am category right from the word go. Jamie Dory in 7th and 2nd in category with Lee Horn 8th overall, 3rd in category. Lee Horn, in 8th there. William Foyle takes 9th. 11 places gained to get himself there. Max Brady in 10th position and 4th in category. 5th in category, should I say. Blaze Crawford in 11th with Wayne Douglas in 12th. He'll take reverse grid pole. Donovan Strauss in 13th position with Tom Delaney in 14th, followed by Ollie Peters. In 16th position is Matt Emmons with Paul Hayo in 17th place. Robert Lundgren would take 18th with Kenny Brady, a difficult race for him, in 19th. Aaron Thompson 20th and Steve Thompson in 21st. As we mentioned, we're going to go for a quick break now, but when we come back, it will be race 2 of the night here with the NXTGEN iRacing Legends. Who will be race 2 legend? Let's find out. Don't go away, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. And welcome back everyone to Snetterton for the NXTGEN iRacing Legends. Here for round 3 of the championship. We've got race 2 coming up for you tonight, which is the 8th race of the season. Before we get underway, a little bit of a reminder of what we've got in store for you this season. We started off 2 weeks ago at Silverstone, and then we were at Red Bull Ring last week. Today is the Snetterton 300 layout, and next week we'll be off to Zandvoort for round 4 of the championship, followed by Tsukuba in Japan for round 5 of the championship. Featuring the Wall of Champions, round 6 will be at Montreal, the Circuit de Gilles Villeneuve. A week off between round 6 and 7, but we're back for round 7, back in Britain for the Alton Park circuit. Round 8 of the championship will be at the Nürburgring Sprint Strecker layout. Round 9 of the championship back in Britain for the Donington Park National layout. Over the pond again for round 10 in the WeatherTech Raceway of California, aka Laguna Seca. Round 11 of the championship back over the pond, but in Spain for the Barcelona Catalunya circuit. And round 12 of the championship will finish at Brands Hatch Indy circuit. Drivers warming up at the moment, 4 minutes until we get underway for the next race of the night. We've got a few drivers to grace the views of our entertainment until then. So a little bit of a recap of race 1, which presented us with some very, very action-packed racing across the grid. And the pros category winner was Gordon Mutch. Led from start to finish, was pressured all the way, however, by Luke Bennett, but he was able to hang on and stay ahead without pretty much any battling for the entirety of the race. Luke Bennett taking second place, and championship defendant Mikey Doble taking third. And in the Pro-Am category, we were celebrating or praising a win for William Chadwick. In fact, William Chadwick is a pro driver, not a Pro-Am driver. Or he messaged the admin before tonight and asked to be put into the pro category. Or he actually asked him fairly recently, early on in tonight, asked him to be put in the pro category instead of the Pro-Am category. So it was Jamie Dory who took the win in that category, followed by Lee Horn. And I think it would have been William Foyle who took third place. So, interesting start to the night. A couple of drivers with not such good races. One of them being top of the standings. Paul Hale was involved in an incident earlier on in the race, but he'll be looking for a little bit of revenge. Look out for Blaze Crawford in this race, as he picked up the reverse grid triumph of finishing 12th position and promoted to the front of the grid for the start of this race. It wasn't Blaze Crawford, it was Wayne Douglas. Wayne Douglas at the top of the standings. Blaze Crawford got second on the grid for this race coming up. Do excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot of things to remember in this series, and a lot of series I need to remember as well. Do forgive me. We've got an interesting rest of night coming up for us, and we'll see what the likes of Luke Bennett and Gordon Mutch can do. Now they're a little bit further back in the pack. I wouldn't say they had it easy being starting towards the front, but now they've got to make it all work by coming through the pack, and we've seen that very much from Luke Bennett and Gordon Mutch so far this season. But coming out of that race, I stand corrected in that Luke Bennett is still leader of the championship, but by 3 points from Gordon Mutch. Unless the out of iRacing results conjured up by Jamie Dory are any different, Luke Bennett still leads the championship, but only by a narrow margin ahead of Gordon Mutch. So one mistake from either of these drivers can mess things up for them when it comes to their championship campaign. They've got to be on it from go. And go was 2 weeks ago back at Silverstone. and we are seconds away from our second race of the night. And iRacing being iRacing, we only get a minute to read through the grid for the next race, so we'll have to whiz through it fairly quickly. But we're about to get underway. So here we go, we're about to line up on the grid for the second race of the night. Wayne Douglas will start on pole position from Blaze Crawford in second. Max Brady on third on the grid with William Fall in fourth. Lee Horn fifth with Jamie Dory, our Pro-Am winner of race 1, in sixth. William Chadwick, promoted to the Pro category, is seventh with Seb Hopkins in eighth. Bobby Thompson ninth. Mikey Doble in 10th. Luke Bennett will take 11th on the grid with Gordon Much in 12th. Tom Delaney in 13th with Ollie Peters 14th. Matt Emmons in 15th with Paul Heo in 16th. Robert Lundgren will line up 17th and Kenny Brady in 18th. A few drivers haven't made it to the grid, which is a big shame, but they miss out. You snooze, you lose points in this championship. These drivers will be promoted with points, but we're about to get underway here. Lights are ready to go, and the 5 lights will appear, and we'll get underway for race 2 of the night. We are go, and a good start there for Wayne Douglas, and it's a brilliant start in fact. Away he goes, and he can pull across the track, and we look a bit further back to the drivers trying to make their way through. Into turn 1 we go. Leading the way there is Wayne Douglas, and we got further back here, we got the next gen drivers going against one another. At one place already is Mikey Doble in the middle here. Going into the hairpin we go. Bobby Thompson, a big nudge up the rear of Mikey Doble, and it sends round the 18 car of Seb Hopkins. We did see that quite clearly there. Bobby Thompson braking a little bit too late there, and a spin there for Ollie Peters as well. So mayhem into the hairpin turn 2 yet again in this race. We'll take a look at that a little bit further on, but we've got a lot of action to keep our eye on. We've got William Foyle challenged by Max Brady, but he hangs on to third place. Leading the race still is Wayne Douglas. Mikey Doble there. Oh, and running wide back there. I think that is... I couldn't quite tell who that was. I think it was Max Brady running a bit wide on the grass there. And William Foyle, something's happened to him. He's off the track. Let's get a quick replay of that. Oh, and he had a car on his inside, and he must not have known he was there. Max Brady turns him round, and off he goes. Back towards the front. William Foyle will be disappointed about that, but the battle rages on. We're watching Lee Horn there in the 36 car of NXTGEN Racing. Braking very late, going into... Oh, and he's tapped in the rear. I think that's Bobby Thompson. It is Bobby Thompson who's made contact with him, so 2 counts of contact for Bobby in this race. And that sends Lee Horn round. Down to 13th goes Bobby Thompson, and down to 16th goes Lee Horn. Oh, and there's a spin there as well. That's Tom Delaney spinning on the infield there. Can he keep it going? Yes, he can. He just about does. But the end of a very, very exciting lap 1. And Max Brady and Jamie Dory getting very, very comfortable with one another there. And Gordon Much keeping his nose clean at the moment. 7 places gained as he eases his way past William Chadwick into the first corner for the second lap. Excellent from Gordon Much to get himself into 4th position. Oh, and another move on Jamie Dory as he goes wide. Much is into 4th position, and he's got Luke Bennett right behind him. Bennett trying to fight with Jamie Dory on his inside, gives room, and he's able to power his way around the corner there of Palmer and down to Agassini. He takes the position of 5th place, and he's got Gordon Much still right ahead of him. Much got the better. Oh, there we go, and that's Gordon Much who got collected then. And I'm not sure who that was. I think it was Brady. Let's get a replay of that. Gordon Much on the inside. Oh, and losing control there. I think it was Brady. And much championship protagonists sent round. Been a lot of contact in this race, it's safe to say. Mikey Doble is promoted to 5th place, as we can see there, and onto the podium, our championship leader, Luke Bennett. 8 places gained. Not the most of the field is Kenny Brady in 9th at the moment with 9 places gained. But at the front, it is still Wayne Douglas, just ahead of Blaze Crawford. But they've got Luke Bennett, one of the fastest cars on the track, charging towards the top 2 there. Jamie Dory getting all sorts of bother, a bit loosey-goosey coming out of Nelson then, and now he's got Mikey Doble challenging on the inside as we come around Coram. He is going to take the position. He's definitely got the momentum and the better line. Jamie Dory needs to be very careful about William Chadwick, and he does in fact let him through, and blinking in and out there is Paul Heo. He needs to be careful with that internet connection of his. Seems okay now, but he's got to be careful about that around Jamie Dory. And these two are leading their respective categories at the moment, is Wayne Douglas and Blaze Crawford. But we've got over 10 minutes of this session, and we've got Luke Bennett, who will charge towards them. Now he's in open air. Let's keep an eye on Gordon Much. He would definitely put his foot down and try and catch back up. We've also got drivers such as Bobby Thompson to try and get himself up a few places after his demise in the early part of the race. William Chadwick on the outside of Mikey Doble, who makes the move, and through he goes into 4th position. Mikey Doble doing what he did last season, picking off one car at a time. Oh, and a challenge there from Chadwick. Dory does go to avoid it, does compromise his line a little bit, but he's able to keep away from the charging Chadwick there and retain 4th place. Chadwick battling with Jamie Dory yet again. Dory on his outside will try an undercut here. Will the next gen driver? And as we come into Williams, he's not able to get enough of the run. He'll have to get a good line through this corner to get the better speed on the main straight here. Switches to defend. Does William Chadwick, that slight jerk to the left to signal to Jamie Dory that he wants the inside. But Dory has to go to the outside, and as we saw in race 1, it doesn't quite move going around the outside at Brundle. There are a lot of moves made there last season, but of course it was a different layout last season. We came from the hairpin of Montreal, a slight kink, and skipped the whole in section of the track, which means a whole different approach to Brundle, different speed. And getting yourself alongside another car required a different approach. Oh, and there was contact between Seb Hopkins and Paul Heo there. We will get a replay of that. We just caught a glimpse of it. Let's take a look at Seb Hopkins. He gains rapidly and has to avoid to go for the move. And Paul Heo still committed to the corner. Seb Hopkins had to stick it to the inside to try and avoid. Oh, and a big 3 wide here. Lee Horn versus Robert Lundgren and the number 5 car of Paul Heo. And Lee Horn has come out on top there, flying around the outside. In fact, it was Matt Emmons, do excuse me. Matt Emmons on the outside of Paul Heo here, in the slightly alternated next-gen livery there. Meanwhile, back at the front, Wayne Douglas still leads, but Blaze Crawford has dropped 1 place behind Luke Bennett. And this is the replay of it. It's coming up after turn 1 and going into the Montreal hairpin. Nice late break. And in fact, Blaze Crawford just sort of said, you know what, you have that. I'll stick behind you and try and catch up. And Blaze Crawford is leading his category at the moment, so he'll not be complaining too much. He'll be aware of that. And he'll just want to keep it on the black stuff. And keep it on the podium, presumably. That's unless Mikey Doble can do something about it. But this is Luke Bennett here. A couple of race wins to his name this season. 2 race wins. 1 coming at the Red Bull Ring. 1 coming at Silverstone. And he could be on his way to 1 here at Snetterton today. Let's see if Wayne Douglas can keep him at bay. Luke Bennett did struggle to pass the leader in the first race. In fact, didn't pass the leader in the first race. Stayed in second. Let's see what Wayne Douglas can do. going into the final corner of Murray's here. And Luke Bennett with a big exit from the corner there. You see Wayne Douglas right ahead of you here. Rapidly gaining is Luke Bennett. He takes to the outside. Wayne Douglas seems to think the inside is the better line for riches here. Hanging it around the outside is Luke Bennett. He's keeping around the outside, stays alongside, and he'll have the outside for the next corner. But Wayne Douglas might have the better line here. If he can brake later, he can stick it to the inside, which he does. A little bit of understeer, but he's able to keep it going, and Luke Bennett's able to keep it on the outside. Brilliantly done from Luke Bennett, and he will take first place here. Fantastic driving from the pair of them, but Luke Bennett ran the outside on 2 corners, completes the overtake to take the lead here at Snetterton in race 2 of the night. Fantastic move from him. And that demotes Wayne Douglas down to second, but you'll still be pleased with that position, as it's good for his championship. But Luke Bennett will be super chuffed, as he's a long way ahead of Gordon Mutch, who's down in 7th at the moment. He's got the race leader in his sights, and he's squeezed ahead of Bobby Thompson at some point. Oh, and a spin back there. I think that's Kenny Brady getting out of shape. He hits the wall, and that'll be a little bit of damage and dropping down the order. But our race leader, with more than 5 minutes to go, Luke Bennett. Got Mikey Doble, probably one of the likely candidates to challenge, but he's a fair few seconds back, 2.5 seconds back, which is going to be very difficult to catch up with. Back here we still got William Chadwick and Jamie Dory facing off against one another. Dory will take to the outside yet again. Not the ideal line to be on again. Chadwick seems to have the defending lark from Jamie Dory well and truly sorted. Let's see what Jamie can do. Around Coram. Tries to hang it around the outside. Presumably trying to get the inside for Murray's, but he has to tuck back in. He's not able to make it work. Jamie Dory looking all ways. He frightens Chadwick to the inside a little bit. Just to hang it around the outside. We've got Gordon Mutch lurking in the wings behind these 2 battling drivers. And this will make things interesting between the 2. And Jamie Dory on the outside. Might he be able to do a Luke Bennett here? Or he goes a little bit too deep, too wide. And that allows Gordon Mutch through, and he loses a bit of momentum from William Chadwick. Just broke a little bit too late. Dory stays ahead of Gordon Mutch, but I don't think we've seen the last of Gordon Mutch on this battle just yet. And they've got Bobby Thompson lurking as well. Chadwick goes to defend. And Mutch tries the inside, negotiates the inside with Jamie Dory, who gives him room. And we'll have the inside for the next corner of Hamilton. He has the inside, gives just enough room for Jamie Dory to stay on the outside. Dory's trying desperately to hang on to the rear of Chadwick, but he's losing out to Mutch, and he's losing out to Thompson as well. Thompson on the outside, going around Williams, and Jamie Dory just hangs on to it. Brilliant defending and brilliant racing between the 2, our 2 hosts of this championship. Mutch is going to try a move on the inside here. He's able to get up the inside a little easier than Jamie Dory has, and Bobby Thompson makes his way through on Jamie Dory as well. 2 moves in 1 corner there from 2 different drivers. Bobby Thompson, let's keep an eye on him. Is he able to get William Chadwick quite quickly? We'll find out as we come around Coram here. What's his plan of action? He looks to the inside. Chadwick comes back across. It's not an easy corner to overtake on, is Coram, as it's such a long right-handed corner. A little lock at the brakes there. Oh, and Bobby Thompson kicking up into the air a little bit there. His front tyres hit the rear bumper off the legend car ahead of him of Chadwick. He's trying desperately to get past Chadwick fairly quickly so he can keep up with Gordon Mutch. And Jamie Dory challenging on the outside there. Bobby Thompson a little bit of a nudge of the rear of William Chadwick there. And Chadwick goes a little bit wide. Might this surrender to Jamie Dory? He's looking all ways. He's got to stick it to the middle. Can't quite make it. Chadwick hangs on the outside and Jamie Dory tries an undercut. Thompson gets a little loose there. Chadwick's got to be real careful on the inside there. But Thompson stays ahead and Chadwick stays out of trouble. Ah, brilliant battle between these drivers. Jamie Dory fights back, trying the inside as we approach Agostini here. He does take the inside. Might he have completed the move? Yes, he has. He follows his friend Bobby Thompson through and passed into 7th place. He finally has Chadwick behind him. Does Jamie Dory. What a great battle we witnessed between those drivers. We must look forward as Mikey Doble has passed Blaze Crawford for 3rd place. We'll get a replay of that. It's coming out of Agostini. He has a good run going into Hamilton and takes the position. Gordon Much back in 5th place. Won't lose too many championship points, but you'll still lose some where he is right now. Bobby Thompson's defending from Jamie Dory. Dory's no slouch, as we know. He will take the fight to the pro drivers. He's trying it on Bobby Thompson. But again, a little bit loose on the rear coming out of the corner. Bobby Thompson much smoother and straighter and truer through the corner there. Look to Mikey Doble back in 3rd place, back to where he finished in race 1. Might be able to try and move on Wayne Douglas as time goes by. 2.5 seconds between Wayne Douglas and Luke Bennett, who leads our race and comes across the line to win the race. Didn't realise time had gone by so quickly, but we just caught him coming across the line and he takes the win here in race 2. Wayne Douglas takes 2nd place from Mikey Doble in 3rd, another 3rd for him. Blaze Crawford in 4th place with Gordon Much in 5th. Bobby Thompson takes 6th position with Jamie Dory in 7th. William Chadwick 8th, Seb Hopkins 9th, and Lee Horn rounds off the top 10. It is a full reverse grid as well, so I believe it is to those who finish. So I think it is anyway. So it might be Ollie Peters on pole position unless he can get ahead of Robert Lundgren. Yes, he does. So Robert Lundgren will start on pole position if it is to those who finished, as he's last of the runners. Well, we witnessed a very dramatic start to the race, but as everyone calmed down a little bit into the middle part of the race and the last half of the race, it got very exciting with some great battling. But here are our race results for round 3 of the championship. Race 8 of the season. Luke Bennett takes the win from Wayne Douglas and Mikey Doble rounding off the top 3. 4th overall, but 1st in category. Blaze Crawford takes the win in his category of Pro-Am, with Gordon Much in 5th place after the contact for earlier on in the race. Comes back to 5th, as does Bobby Thompson. A bit of drama twice earlier on in the race. 6th place for him. Jamie Dory takes 7th with William Chadwick in 8th. Seb Hopkins 9th. 3rd in category but 10th overall is Lee Horn with William Fall in 11th. Paul Hare in 12th with Matt Emmons in 13th. Ollie Peters in 14th, who just got past Robert Lundgren on the line. Kenny Brady, Max Brady and Tom Delaney are non-finishers. We'll be back very shortly for race 3 of the night. Race 3 of round 3 coming up very shortly. Don't go away. Welcome back everyone to Snetterton in Norwich for the Next Gen Racing iRacing Legends for round 3 of the championship. We've got the final race of the night coming up, another 15-minute sprint race coming right at you with some thrilling Legends action for you. This is round 3 of the championship, and next week, 1 week today on the 23rd of August, we'll be off to the Netherlands for Circuit Zandvoort. I won't be commentating, as the day before then I'll be getting married, so I don't think my wife will approve of me taking time out of married life for sim racing yet anyway. But round 4 of the championship next week at Zandvoort, and then the following round at Tsukuba. The Gilles Villeneuve circuit will take place on the start of September for round 6 of the championship, to round off the first half of the season. To start us off the second half of the season after a week's break will be the Alton Park International Circuit. Nürburgring Sprintstrecke for round 8. Round 9 will be the Donington Park National Circuit. Round 10, WeatherTech Raceway, aka Laguna Seca. Barcelona will be round 11 of the championship, followed by the final round taking place in Kent for the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. Quite an interesting night we've witnessed so far. We've got another new driver in the server. We have got Liam Sheen joining us for this race, so welcome to him. A lot of American drivers joining us this week, which is great to see. They are big fans of these cars, the Americans. They do use them for oval racing, whereas we Brits like to use it for just traditional racing. There is the Legends UK series. If you search them on Facebook, you'll find out about them. And of course, this is one of the free cars you get on iRacing. To start off on your oval racing campaign, you actually have to master these cars to work your way through the licenses. And it is a very, very fun car to drive. Very tail happy. It's a little bit Marmite at times with the characteristics of the car, but you can have such great racing in these cars, as we've seen tonight, as we've seen all season so far. There hasn't been one race that hasn't had any form of drama or excitement. And that's credit to the organisers, credit to the drivers as well. If you want to get involved in this series, you can. You can find all the links available in our description to these videos, whether you're watching on Facebook, YouTube or Twitch. You will need to give Next Gen Racing a little like on Facebook, but also there is a link to their Facebook group. If you join there, get in touch with the admins on there to get involved in this iRacing Legends series. If this isn't quite your cup of tea, but there's other racing you're interested in Next Gen, there are plenty of other leagues available. On iRacing on Wednesday nights there is the GT3 League, hosted by Matt Emmons, one of the drivers in this series. Very, very good league hosted on Wednesdays. But there's also other leagues hosted by Next Gen on other simulators, such as Assetto Corsa Competizione, which is run on Tuesday nights. Just ended is the Race Room League, an alliance with Crest Autosport, which will be moving over to Thursdays. You can get in touch with Lee Horn, one of the drivers in this championship, to get involved in that series. And there's plenty of others as well, particularly on console as well. As Project Cars is hosted on there, as well as the Formula 1 games and Gran Turismo. Plenty to get involved in this series of Next Gen Racing. So a little bit of a recap. And just looking to William Thor here, he's had a bit of a stressful night. He's picked up the pieces a little bit after the first lap shenanigans he's been involved in. But he would have expected from himself better results tonight, as he's had the pace. He's finished in the top 5 in his category in all races so far, as we can see. He's gone to the top of the standing, he's got the pace to show for it. And one of the sharpest liveries on the grid. Just looking at the Facebook chat. Yes, Matt, I did mention your league, don't worry. Don't worry, I didn't miss it out. Rewind, you'll see it. And yeah, we've got more racing to go tonight. The weather shifted a little bit. It's a little bit more cloudy above us. Low wind speeds Slightly lower track temperature and a bit more cloud above. And our track temperature is significantly lower at only 19 degrees, so it's a very cool track, which does mean on iRacing quicker lap times. As we see William Fall take a spin, and that's another thing about the cold track. It takes long for the tyres to warm up, so the rear end is going to be a little bit more sensitive. Just looking to Ollie Peters here, he's been a bit quiet this season, 3rd place last season in this championship, but Ollie Peters does have a broken leg. He, for some reason, he likes to drive 2-wheelers instead of 4-wheelers. And landing awkwardly off the jump, he broke his leg. And he is still finding time to sim race. I don't know if he's doing it one-footed, like the good old Master MX-5s that he loves driving. But yeah, he is negotiating that, which is rather uncomfortable, I can imagine. But yeah, Ollie doing his best in the conditions that he's in. We've seen William Chadwick tonight on his debut, really getting into the thick of the action. It's good to have him in the series and getting his elbows out, getting involved in the racing. As we see him negotiating a battle here on track with Ian Bennett. And another comment in the Facebook chat, Katie Eames, a big fan of NXTGEN Racing and Jacko Racing. Sadly not, Katie, I will not be racing on Wednesdays. At the moment, Wednesdays are a bit busy for me on my other ventures in sim racing. But I have to cut myself short there, as we need to go through the grid for the next race of the night. We have got a driver's photo stuck there. We'll get rid of that temporarily. Tom Delaney will start on pole position with Max Brady in 2nd position. 3rd will be Kenny Brady from Robert Lundgren. Ollie Peters 5th with Matt Emmons in 6th. Paul Heo 7th. William Fall 8th. Lee Horn will start 9th with Seb Hopkins in 10th. And William Chadwick in 11th. Jamie Dory in 12th with Bobby Thompson 13th. Gordon Mush, our race 1 winner, in 14th. 15th will start Blaze Crawford with Mikey Doble in 16th position. 17th will start Wayne Douglas with Luke Bennett in 18th position. And 19th position, new starter for this race, is Liam Sheen. And we're about to get underway for this 3rd race of the night. Away goes Tom Delaney, and a good start for him. Away he goes, and he's challenged by the 2 Bradys behind. Coming down towards turn 1 we go. Have we got any instance? Not quite yet. There's been a fair few, but they are getting through very close together. Oh, I'm running off wide there. I think that's Tom Delaney. Yes, it is. He's run off into the hairpin. Now into turn 2 we go. And round the hairpin, a lot of cars very close together. A lot of contact in the middle there. Somehow they're all making it through the hairpin. And look at all these Legends cars plunge into Palmer, the long left-hander here. We're looking at Luke Bennett on the outside of Kenny Brady here. And we're approaching Agostini. Oh, and Kenny Brady has taken a spin there. All sorts being collected there. Robert Lundgren's being collected. Wayne Douglas was, as was the NXTGEN car of Jamie Dory. Let's get a quick replay of that before we rejoin the action. Robert Lundgren. Oh, he did twist around and it did cause a little bit of mayhem in the middle there. Let's revert. And at the top of our standings, 2 Crest Autosport drivers. Whoop, whoop. Ollie Peters. Oh, and we've also got Paul Heo spun in the middle there. Let's get a quick replay of that. He's on the outside of the 57 car of Max Brady. He blinks in and out, and that might have caused confusion for Max. And off he goes. But we've got 2 Crest Autosport cars at the front. Ollie Peters swap positions with... Oh, look at that. There's contact in the middle there. That's Gordon Much and Bobby Thompson. Off goes Thompson. There's a spin there as well for Luke Bennett, I think. No, it's not. It is Seb Hopkins back there. Huge, huge drama. For the cars back here. And I'm struggling to find out who to watch right now. William Fall is at the front leading this race. He's had an unlucky night so far, but he leads at the front. William Chadwick, good start so far. Luke Bennett up 13 places to 5th on the opening lap of this race. Brilliant start for him. Let's see if we can get a replay of Bobby Thompson's incident now. Oh, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. Oh, it's 3 into 1. Much on the outside of Thompson. Thompson on the outside of Chadwick. And it just didn't work. Oh, and we've got Bennett up the inside of Chadwick. And through he goes into 4th place. Already right up there in the high positions is Luke Bennett. Really waving that flag as the number 1 driver. He has number 1 on his door, but that's not because he's a championship defender. It's just because he's picked number 1. Mikey Doble, he's having a good night actually. We haven't mentioned much, or probably enough, of Mikey Doble. But 6th place for him right now. He's had 2 third places. He's not quite had as good a night as like Luke Bennett, but he's still having a relatively good night, which will help for his championship, keep him in 3rd place, keep him within striking distance of Luke Bennett and Gordon Mutch. But at the front still, it is William Full leading the way from his teammate Ollie Peters. Max Brady defending from Luke Bennett, the charging Luke Bennett. This is his view, and to the left of him he has Max Brady. Under the bridge we go, and into the left-hander much later on the brakes is Luke Bennett, and Max Brady loses the position to 4th position. Bobby Thompson, not such a good night for him. I did listen in on him in the Discord chat just a moment ago, and he hasn't tested much, and half as a result he's trying desperately hard because he wants to win it, he wants to do well. Having said that, it's rather hard to say who was at fault for that incident back there. I don't think it was Bobby Thompson's fault anyway. But I'm no steward, I'm a commentator, and we're commentating on this race right now. Starting lap 3 is William Full. The 2 Crest Autosport drivers here are going to be under big pressure from the Frosties liveried car of Luke Bennett. We've got Mikey Doble here challenging William Chadwick. He has the inside coming down towards the hairpin. Late on the brakes, on the inside. Chadwick fights back but can't quite make it, and Max Brady is fighting as well. Trying a little undercut there but couldn't quite make it. But Doble is into 4th place. 12th place is gained for him. And he's just sort of stuck to the back of Luke Bennett in most of these races and followed him through, and it's worked. Chadwick hanging on to Max Brady behind now. We've also got Lee Horn lurking around as well. Lee Horn, who's having a relatively quiet night but a very safe and consistent night, touch wood. Usually I say that and it jinxes people. Is it the commentator's curse? Haven't heard of it. Lee Horn in 7th here, trying a little sneak on the inside of Max Brady. Couldn't quite make it, but it did spook Brady a little bit because these cars are so fragile and so reactive to contact that when somebody gains rapidly on your rear, you do react a little bit. And you do go a little bit wide just for safety. And Luke Bennett coming out of Williams, got a good run on Ollie Peters and has passed him. Let's just get a little bit of a replay of that just to see. It was going through Williams. Ollie Peters couldn't quite keep it onto the apex. When Ollie Peters getting all out of shape there, couldn't quite keep it, but he's now broken clear, and he's going to set his sights on William Full at the front here. William Full, who has the win in his grasp at the moment, but has he got enough time to defend from Luke Bennett? Charging towards William Full here. And you just look at the gains from these drivers. 16 gained from Luke Bennett, 12 gained from Mikey Doble, and Luke Bennett gained a huge amount of positions in the first race as well. Oh, and something, there's a big battle going on in the mid-pack here. Lee Horn surrendering to Gordon Mutch, who's up into 6th place. We've got Blaze Crawford trying to move on Lee Horn. Lee Horn goes a little bit wide at the hairpin at Montreal here. And we got Max Brady on his inside. Lee Horn retains 8th at the moment. Back towards the front though, we've got to keep an eye on this battle for first, as Luke Bennett could be going for first place and what could seal a near perfect night tonight. He already looks to the inside. William Full gives room He did attempt an undercut there, but Luke Bennett was still on his inside. Easy move there for Luke Bennett as he takes into first place, 17 places gained. And what's looking like a almost perfect night for Luke Bennett. And Mikey Doble has put himself into third place as well. We have got a replay of it. Oh, and it was as a result of Ollie Peters running very wide, coming out of turn 1 there. And through goes Mikey Doble. Ollie Peters did fight back, but Mikey Doble cleaner through the hairpin. Chadwick has also overtaken Ollie Peters. It was going through Williams. Just hangs on the inside and is able to keep the move and make it through. William Foyle, I mean, no disrespect to him, but Luke Bennett is in a force of his own at the moment. But Foyle will be happy with his position right now. He's first in category still and second overall. Big points either way for him. These are the results as of the categories. We've got Ollie Peters still second in category, although he lost second in the race overall. Still in a very much good position for his category. Back here we have got Lee Horn on the outside of Max Brady. Going into turn 1, can Lee Horn hang on to the outside? No, he doesn't. He tucks back in behind the American. Approaching hairpin, he moves over to the inside. Not going to work. Couldn't quite get it onto the inside. He's got his teammate and championship rival lurking behind him of Jamie Dory. Just trying to find out what is the championship situation. I do believe Jamie Dory is 4th overall in the championship coming into this race. Yes, he is. And he'll be leading the Pro-Am category. And that's Lee Horn on the inside of Max Brady. Brave move on the inside going into Agostini there. And it's not, oh, yes it is over now. Unless Brady can fight back. Lee Horn makes it through into 8th place overall. Brady a big powerful surge through Hamilton. And Lee Horn lets him have the inside. But he moves across. Doesn't quite take the whole racing line. But he spooks Brady a little bit. Who had to back off a little extra bit. But Horn gets back in front. And stays in front. Got Mikey Doble here in 3rd place. In the clear from Chadwick. And he's now got to gain on William Foyle. Just a few seconds up the road from him. Gordon Much, oh, on the inside of Ollie Peters. Ollie Peters getting hung out to dry a little bit there. A little replay of what happened there. Gordon, oh, it's all the way back from here. Gordon Much gets it on the inside and past. But further up the straight. Much hangs it round the outside. Ollie Peters gets his nose back ahead. But Much hangs on to the inside and Ollie Peters has no choice but to keep it on the outside. Gets in all sorts of out of shape motion there. Has to surrender the position. Second in category still, as we mentioned. Bennett still leads the way. What a night it's been for him. Second in qualifying, second in race 1. Not quite perfect, but still good. But a win in race 2 and a win at the moment in race 3 with just over 3 minutes to go. Mikey Doble might pick up 3 threes here as it stands. Let's see what he can do about William Foyle here. He's just over a second behind. With a lap and a bit to go. Gordon Much has been a bit of a troubling night for him. Unlucky in races 2 and 3, but a very impressive performance in qualifying and race 1, just like he had at Red Bull Ring. But in Red Bull Ring race 3, he made up for a disappointing race 2 with a win, but he's not able to do it in this one just yet. Looking back to Jamie Dory. Oh, and something's happened to Brady. Oh, look at this battle between him, Douglas and Bobby Thompson. Might be able to get a little bit of a replay here, as that looked like a corking battle between them. Brady on the outside there. Thompson getting the undercut. Oh, and they all trying to avoid each other, and Douglas somehow kept hold of the car there. Ended up back behind Brady, but Douglas had to negotiate being between Brady and Thompson there. Thompson charging through on the inside. Oh, Brady stuck on the gravel there, getting out of shape. Douglas looks to the inside to evade and try and take the position, but he can't quite make it. Lee Horn right behind Blaze Crawford here. This is the battle for third in category, 6th on track. And starting his final lap is Luke Bennett. And what will be the 2nd win of the night, 4th win of the season. Foyle is losing time to Mikey Doble, but he's got 1 lap to stay ahead. You'll pick up what will be one of his finest results in the iRacing Legends by NXTGEN Racing. Mikey Doble, although 3-3s is a bit of a pretty sequence of results, he'll want more points. He'll want that 2nd place. William Chadwick, an impressive debut for tonight in that iconic yellow livery in the field here. He's been quite the entertainer tonight and hasn't been shy to get himself some good results here. Looking forward to seeing him in future races, hopefully. Doble is right on the rear of William Foyle. You can see the pink donut-themed car right ahead. Doble spooking William Foyle a bit, locks up the car to try and stay behind. And a very good exit from the corner there. Has the inside for Williams. Can William Foyle hang on to it on the outside? He has washed out a little bit onto the marbles. And he still is alongside. He'll have the inside for the next corner, but can Mikey Doble hang on to that outside? William Foyle has space to the right of him. We've also got Chadwick and Much versing against each other back there. But going in... Oh, and there's contact between Much and Chadwick. We'll run back to it shortly, but William Foyle has got himself back into the position. We'll have a look at that Chadwick incident after the race. But Luke Bennett is coming around the final 2 corners to win this race. And look at this between Mikey Doble and William Foyle. Foyle had a bad exit from the bomb hole. And Doble takes 2nd place from him unless William Foyle can fight back on this final corner. He is fighting back on this final corner. He gets it back in front. Brilliant move from William Foyle to take back 2nd place. Luke Bennett, though, will take another win here tonight. 2nd of the night and 4th in the championship. William Foyle, a brilliant fight back into 2nd place on the final corner there. And Mikey Doble, a photo finish with Gordon Much there to take 4th, who had contact on that final lap, but nearly swiped away 3rd from Mikey Doble there. Ollie Peters 2nd in category, making it a 1-2 for Crest Autosport in the Pro-Am category. And Blaze Crawford 3rd in category in the Pro-Am category. But Luke Bennett is your race winner yet again. And what a final corner from William Foyle there. He tried desperately to stay ahead of Mikey Doble, and fair play, he did it brilliant. One of the moves of the season so far, in my opinion. Let's get a replay of that before we check out the Chadwick incident. He had the corner lost here. He just hangs on to the outside, and Doble gets a little bit out of shape to try and almost do a Scandinavian flick into the corner. But William Foyle just gets his rear bumper ahead of the front bumper of Mikey Doble there. Very impressive move. Right. We also had an incident between Gordon Much and William Chadwick. Let's take a little bit of a look further back. It hasn't come up as an incident, so... Oh, I couldn't quite tell from that angle. It's a bit of a wobbly angle, that. Let's try this angle. Let's try again. Here we go. Gordon Much is on the right. Chadwick's on the left. Oh, and the two very close together, and the two did come together. I suppose Much was trying to guard his line into the corner, but Chadwick was thinking, well, the corner's coming up, let's get over to the racing line. And I think he was expecting Much to move over a little bit, and he didn't. It's a hard one to call, that is. But we have got the last race of the night rounded up, and here will be the results of the aforementioned race. Race 9 of the championship of round 3 of the season. Luke Bennett takes the win, another win tonight. from William Fall after that last corner gasp to get by Mikey Doble, who finished just ahead, just over 300ths ahead of Gordon Much in 4th place. Ollie Peters takes 2nd in category and 5th overall, with Blaze Crawford taking 3rd in category in the Pro-Am category and 6th on track. Lee Horn taking 7th with Bobby Thompson in 8th, a disappointing night for him. Jamie Dory takes 9th with Max Brady rounding off the top 10. Below 10th, Wayne Douglas in 11th. In 12th is Paul Heo with William Chadwick, the final lap drama, 13th for him. Robert Lundgren 14th with Liam Sheen, newcomer for this race, in 15th. Matt Emmons, Tom Delaney and Kenny Brady, and Seb Hopkins are retirees. It's been an interesting night indeed, a very, very good night indeed. This has been the Next Gen Racing iRacing Legends Round 3 at Snetterton. We'll be back next week at Zandvoort, so don't go away. Do give us a like on the Next Gen Racing Facebook page, and do give us a like and subscribe on YouTube and Twitch for Crest Autosport TV. My name is Alex Everett. This has been Round 3 of the Next Gen Legends. We'll see you next week at Zandvoort. Thank you for watching. Good night.